Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about recipe problems. Now these ones are quite nice questions. I have added a bit of a harder question at the bottom, so EG2, just to sort of give you a range of all the questions that they might ask you in the future. Okay, so generally with recipe ones you'll be given essentially like a recipe, what you need for a particular thing. So for this one we're dealing with fairy cakes. Okay, it will tell you how many these will make. So for this one it's making 24 fairy cakes, and we've just then got to make them bigger or smaller to get to the amount that they want in the question. Okay, so for part A we need to work out how much flour is needed for 12. Now as I said before, it does say in the question that this makes 24 cakes. Okay, so that's double what we want because we only want 12. So if I halved 24, that gives me the 12 cakes that I want. So that means if I half the amount of flour that makes 24, that should tell me then how many grams of flour I need to make 12. So for the flour, it's going to be 230 grams divided by 2, which is 150 grams. Okay, so that's how many grams I needed for 12. Okay, and that's all we need to do for that one. So for part B, Jasper has decided that he's making 36. Okay, work out the amount of each ingredient Jasper needs. So this one is going to be involving all of these. Now this actually helped us part A, so we worked out how many 12 cakes make. Now if we multiply 12 by 3, that gives us 36, which is the number of cakes that we want in the question. Okay, so we can do the flour one straight away. Flour. So for the 12, it was 115. So if we multiply that answer by 3, that will tell us how many grams we need for the 36. So it's going to be 345 grams. Now they've been quite nice. If you look in the recipe, that the butter and sugar are the same as the flour, which means that then the butter must also be 345 and the sugar must also be 345. Okay, it's just the eggs we need to work out. So we need 4 eggs for 12 cakes, for 24 cakes. So we need to work out how many eggs we need for 12 cakes. So 12 cakes, as we said here in part A, that's half of the 24, which means you also need half the number of eggs. Okay, so we're going to need 2 eggs to make 12. But we want 36. Okay, and what we've been doing here, we've been multiplying by 3, which means we need to multiply the number of eggs by 3, which gives us 6 eggs. Okay, so we've got quite a few answers. We've got this answer, these answers, but also these 6 eggs. Okay, now the next one's fairly nice as well. It's just a little bit wordy. So if you do struggle with words, the best thing is just to underline bits that are important. So they're making chocolate icing. 24 cakes uses 60 grams of cocoa powder. Okay, Jasper decides to put chocolate icing on only half of the 36. So to start off with, we're going to work out how many are actually being iced. So half of 36 is 18 cakes. Okay, now we know that 24 cakes is the same as using 60 grams of cocoa. Okay, so to help us out, I'm going to try and make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to work out how much cocoa I need for 6 cakes. Okay, so to do that, 24 divided by 4 would give you the 6 cakes. Okay, which means I also need to do that on the other side as well. So 60 grams divided by 4, which gives you 15 grams. Now 6 does go into 18. Okay, so we can actually work out 18 by multiplying 6 by 3, which again we need to do to the other side as well. So 15 times 3 is 45 grams. So that he needs 45 grams to make icing on half the number of cakes. Okay, so it's easy maths, it's just making sure you understand what's going on at each point. Okay, I'm just going to move up to EG2. Okay, so here are the ingredients to make 12 shortcakes. Okay, so that's important. Okay, this is for 12. So Flo makes some shortcakes. We're told that she uses this amount of milk. Okay, how many shortcakes did she make? So to make 12, that's using 10 mils. Okay, so let's see how much we or she would use if it was 20 mils. So if 10 mils is the same as 12 cakes, 20 mils must be double that, so 24. Okay. Now, if I divided this by 2, that means 5 mils must make 6 cakes. Because remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So that means that 25 mils must make the 24 from here and the 6 from here, because 20 plus the 5 gives you the 25 mils that she used, which means if we add those together, short cakes, it means she must have made 30. Okay, so I'm just going to put a line here just for part B. Okay, so for part B, so different person, Robert, he has 500 grams of sugar, 1,000 of butter, 1,000 flour, 500 mils of milk. We've got to work out the greatest number of shortcakes. Now the easiest way to do this is to divide what he has by the number that you need to make the recipe. Okay, so I'm going to just start with the sugar first, just because it's the first one there. So for sugar, he has 500, and to make 12 he uses 50. So I'm going to do 500 divided by 50, which gives you 10. So this means it makes 10 lots of that recipe. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep doing the rest of them. So for the butter, he has 1,000. He uses 200 in that recipe, and that gives you 5. So that means it can make 5 lots of that recipe. Okay, and we just keep going. So for flour, 1,000 divided by 200, again 5 lots. And for the milk, 500 divided by 10, which is 50 lots. Now at this point, you always go with the smallest one, okay? Because if you did go, let's say, for the 10 lots, you won't have enough butter and flour to make 10 lots, okay? Because obviously when we divided, we only got 5. So we're going to make 5 lots of the recipe. Now our recipe made 12, so what we do is we do 12 multiplied by the 5. And that tells us that he can make 60 shortcakes. Okay?